That's some hard French shit. I love that. All right, Jeremy, letting them in. Dude, that track goes, "What's up?"
Hey, what's up?
Connecting some audio.
You hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
How are you
Hi
doing?
guys. I'm very good, thank you. And how are you guys?
We're doing great. We just listened to the many faces and we have many, many questions.
There you go. Ask away.
Yeah. Well, first, how about you introduce yourself, what you do in the band, and where you're calling in from today?
Sure. I am Jeremy. I sing in a band called SCARAMANGA. I live in Montreal. Our band is based in Montreal.
Yes. Very, very good. Yeah, well, first off, the name. Let's talk about the name, because
Yes.
hardcore is this thing where there's bands will just call themselves either combinations of things, or it's like, replacing A's with V's or whatever. Where did you guys get that name, and does that have any meaning behind it, or is it just like a cool thing to say?
It is a cool thing to say, but
Okay.
I must say it is a James Bond villain from the movie The Man with the Golden Gun.
Oh.
Francisco Scaramanga, and he's played by Christopher Lee. And he's like this hitman, just as strong and powerful as James Bond. So they're like equals, and I don't know, just the name and the having to face yourself kind of thing. I don't know, it just talked to me a little bit, and I was playing this game when Nightfire, James Bond Nightfire, when I was younger. So, and the name always struck with me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I love taking a James Bond villain and naming your band that. That's very, very good idea. Sometimes it just sticks.
Yeah, and just villains' names in general, always cool, always cool.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a geek.
So Jeremy, we were talking before you jumped on. So this is the first. Jack brings 5 tracks to the show. I bring 5 tracks, and then we have 5 tracks submitted from the people who are supporting us on Patreon. And there was an overwhelming amount of people, like not just one person who was recommending your guys' EP, but there was people on people that were suggesting that. So it was really cool to see so many people jamming with the new record. How's the response been, at least on your end of things?
Dude, it was overwhelming. I mean, we do have confidence in our tracks, but it's nothing like we expected. I mean, we're just doing it for fun. I mean, people always say that, but honestly, like we're just playing and doing things for a scene, and just having people like Justified Arrogance sharing, and people that we just wouldn't expect at all sharing our music is just, I don't have any words for it. It's mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, like just come as an outsider, because I saw y'all at Montreal Madhouse, and it probably like the set that surprised me the most, because like I listened to the demo and stuff, and I thought it was pretty neat, but like seeing the response and just like how y'all pulled everything off live was insane. Like I was like doing some like off kilter shit. I was like barking and making animal noises in the pit and just like trying to go all out, just because like it was insane. And I think it's crazy because like you're one of the many bands in Montreal that are like doing really well. Like I'm hoping this is going to continue to give y'all exposure and y'all scenes exposure, because I think there's really a moment happening in Montreal. Like what do you how do you feel about what's happening in Montreal right now? Because like from the outside looking in, it looks like explosive and like successful. How would you view it?
Oh, dude, I feel so grateful, actually, just to be a part of it. But even if I was just going to the shows, I would be just so happy. I've never been like a long time musician or anything like this. I've been going to shows forever. So seeing the scene just exploding like this. I've never seen anything like this from in my living, and there's just new bands almost every month, and they're all sick. The shows are the local shows are sicker than the touring band shows. And I mean, not that Drain has bad shows or anything in here. It's actually crazy, but our local shows are very, very good. And I mean, every band looks like they're successful. And I mean, from our band perspective, I would say we kind of don't want to like put too much in our heads. Like we're just living the moment. And you know, when we started the band, me and Jean Gab, the guitar player, our guitar player, and it was 2020, and the scene wasn't so good actually in Montreal. It was kind of dipping a little bit. So we were like trying to do something just to kind of, it will sound corny, but to save the scene. And we wanted just a project for the moshers. I've always been moshing, and I wanted something just to crank people up a little bit, just to for the dancers. And I don't care if you like the music or not. I just want you to mosh. Actually, I want something dynamic and just really fast and really hard when it's time. And so and so seeing it happening like we expected, like we cooked it. We cooked this for this, and it's all happening like we wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very much the Mind Force mentality of like making sure the music is mosh ready first versus trying to be like, oh, that's a cool creative part or whatever. So I love the idea of just, because I feel like when someone wants to be in like multiple projects, they might have an itch like, oh, I really want to do like a power violence thing, or I want to do a youth crew thing. But like sometimes those bands aren't the most mosh, like that's not so
accessible.
Yeah, mosh accessible, or it's not as much in the DNA. It's not that people can't go crazy to those kind of bands, but I feel like there are clear-cut things within the hardcore scope as far as like, yeah, that's mosh first, thinking man second. And not to say that there's no thinking man aspects on the Scaramanga stuff, but, you know, hearing it first from you where it's like, we wanted to make sure that this project was to kind of kick things back up. And not to say that that was only because of you. Obviously, a global pandemic and people not going to shows for a year helps as well. But yeah, it's I feel like you guys kind of just went out in the water, and then you saw the wave, and you were already out at sea, and now you guys are just riding it.
Oh yeah, and actually, I will shout out Prowl, because they gave us a big chance. We didn't have any songs ready to release, but they were all written and shit. But Max asked us if we wanted to play our first show at their record release for the Forgotten Realms, and dude, we couldn't refuse, and the response was immediate, like, and since then it always has. So a big shout out to Max and the guys from Prowl for that.
Yeah, great dudes. You know, I feel like you can't talk about Montreal hardcore without mentioning them, and to know that all those guys, in my opinion, have no bad bone in their body, and they really ride for their scene, and are taking that out. You know, I think today I saw that they announced that they're touring Europe, or going back out there. So, you know, it's a trickle-down effect to the rest of the bands from back home, right? So that's really cool to see.
Oh yeah, it is. And I mean, we don't plan that much to tour like Prowl, because we have two fathers in our bands. One hasn't have a kid yet. His kid will be born in June. So, but we plan to tour and all around maybe Canada, but we're more in the moment kind of type of band. And yeah, so we're just surfing the wave.
Yeah,
kind of.
Have you like, what's the furthest you guys have played outside of Montreal at this point?
Well, that is a good question because our first out of town show was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and it was in my hometown and Jean Gab's hometown, Rimouski. It's in
yes.
Quebec and in north of Quebec. And I came from here. I saw my first show in here. I saw a lot of shows in here. Mark's from Prowl lives in here in
Yes,
Rimouski.
we talked a lot about Rimouski when he was on the podcast. So yeah, I'm well aware. Yeah, that's very cool.
So yeah, we really wanted to, give back to the community of hardcore in Rimouski, and we were so fucking scared. We thought for a second nobody would be there, and all the bands we brought with us shut away in excess. Oh my god, it was so scary. But dude, the show was like 10 on 10. It was on 100% hardcore. It was so fucking sick. And we saw teenagers seeing hardcore shows for the first time. It was incredible. So yeah, here was our Out of Town show, our first one.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I hope that Scaramanga is hitting Toronto, all the Southern Ontario pockets, and I'm sure eventually Western Canada as well. And then when you guys, when babies have been popped, you guys can hit the States as well, head towards where Jack is.
Please.
Yeah. Is there any shows or anything you want to plug before we let you go, my friend?
Oh, yeah. We will be doing our official record release show this Friday in Montreal at Piranha Bar, and it will be with Excess from Montreal as well, with sharing members of Scaramanga. We will have Toronto Spirit of Vengeance.
Right.
It will be their first time in Montreal, so I think a lot of people are stoked on this. And we have the comeback of Violent State, metallic hardcore from Montreal, with a lot of members from other bands. And we have Womb. It is a band from the new waves of hardcore in Montreal. And it is our record release this Friday. Come on out.
Yeah, I'm very excited for y'all. I hope it's a good time. Before we let you go, do you have a bev or a beverage on hand that you want to check for the episode before we let you go?
Well, I am a big sparkling water fan in general.
Okay.
So I am not too difficult on this. I just need something sparkling. I actually think I hate water. I hate it.
You can't drink regular water.
Oh, no, I can't. And sparkling, whatever it tastes, it is the best shit on earth. And I will argue with anyone on this subject.
Okay. Do you have one
I'm right there with you, man.
At your disposal?
Oh, no, I know. And I'm actually really fucking thirsty right now.
Well, dude, it's been a blast talking to you. We're Team Sparkling as well. So we'll let you get on with your day. And I hope that you crack a sparkling water the minute after you're off here. So.
Oh, yeah, I will do. Thank you for having me, guys.
Of course. Yeah. Hope that
pleasure.
the record release goes really, really well. And for all the listeners, go listen to The Many Faces and go follow the Montreal guys because, we want to see more bands from Montreal popping. So thanks for calling in, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Big fan of the show. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Man, just so many people from Montreal are just the nicest folk ever. Like, I got all of the good things. I love to see it.